The cast of the upcoming X-Men MCU movie has finally been announced. Some of them anyway. And yes, that includes our Omega-level goddess Storm, who will be played by Broadway actress Maya Boyd. So I want to go over this casting as well as how it's being received by the fandom, and speculate what we could be getting from the MCU version of Storm. Before we get into that, we also have to talk about the other casting announcements made at D23 last night. If you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, beware of spoilers going forward. Although everyone and their mama probably know at this point, Sadie Sink debuted as Jean Grey in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The moment she was first announced, people were theorizing she might be Jean Grey, but people also thought she might be playing another version of MJ or Firestar, maybe even Mayday Parker from another universe, aka Spider-Girl. But as soon as the first trailer dropped, there were just too many hints that this was Jean Grey, and Sony went into double time trying to hide the character's identity, which was just a dead giveaway that this was exactly who we thought it was. Without fully spoiling Brand New Day, I'll just say I didn't agree with many things Jean Grey did in that movie. But the MCU's X-Men movie, which is slated for May of 2028 according to this post, has totally different writers than Brand New Day, so I'm hoping they take Jean in a different direction. But at the very least, I think Sadie Sink's acting perfectly fits Jean Grey. You need someone who can convey empathy as well as intensity for that role, and Sadie Sink has that in spades. We've also got Kit Connor as Cyclops, Christopher Abbott as Professor X, Indy Navarrete as Rogue, and Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. Those last two I'm definitely interested in. I really love those actors. Indy Navarrete absolutely killed it as Sarah Cushing in Superman and Lois. These days, she's known for her starring role as Nikki in the indie horror hit Obsession, but I been knew she was a star in the making way back in the CW days, so I can't wait to see her show off Rogue's special brand of Southern charm. And Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister is not a choice I would have went with until I first heard it a few weeks ago, and then I thought, damn, I can't unsee that now. Obviously, we all know him as Kylo Ren from the Star Wars sequel trilogy, but he also starred opposite Scarlett Johansson in the Netflix movie Marriage Story, which showed the world this man isn't just a good actor, he's one of this generation's best actors. I'm curious how they'll portray Mr. Sinister though. Are they gonna go with classic 90s mustache twirling Mr. Sinister, or the more complex Mr. Sinister that he's been since the Krakoa era? Samara Weaving I'm less familiar with, but she definitely has that natural energy that Emma Frost has. Watch any day in the life video she's in and you can easily see her on some Emma Frost shit. She's mostly known for her horror films, and it looks like she's this generation's scream queen. But now, we have to talk about the star of the hour, Maya Boyd as Storm. I think Ryan Coogler had a role in casting her because we know Storm's gonna be in the upcoming Black Panther 3 movie. Prior to this, she's been making a name for herself on Broadway in productions like Joe Turner's Come and Gone and the smash hit Juliet. And she has a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Musical Theater from the University of Michigan. And that is just the energy we need from our Storm. Not only does she have mad experience being dramatic, which is a must-have for Storm, but she's used to projecting her voice, which is a skill a lot of people don't always think about in the modern age of acting. But if you're a stage actor, you have to project your voice. So I think this is a dead giveaway that the MCU Storm will be giving those dramatic Shakespearean speeches when she uses her powers. Also, your girl can sing.
You hear that voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground.
Not that this role requires that, but maybe they'll find a use for it. Like maybe Ororo will be tending to her garden while singing a little tune and it'll actually sound nice. It's the little things that counts. But you know what's not a little thing? How well she looks. Like this actually looks like Storm. And now I have to touch on the stupid side of things. Of course the internet is gonna internet. Within an hour of Maya Boyd announced as Storm, people were going for their pitchforks. A, because it's not Jamie Lawson, and B, according to them, she's not dark enough. I love Jamie Lawson, I think she would have been a great Storm, but this is why I didn't get behind a vocal push for her, because there was no indication that Marvel was going to cast her. There were a bunch of fan accounts saying she was being eyed for the role, and maybe she actually was. But until Marvel themselves came out and said, this is our Storm, I didn't want to put a bunch of energy behind it. I already did a Storm fan cast video that had a shit ton of actresses in it from back in the day all the way to now. That video came out before Jamie Lawson started getting big, by which I mean the video came out before Sinners. I actually remember her from The Batman first, where she played Mayor-elect Bella Real. But this ain't my first rodeo, and I know what happens every time there's a big fan cast pick who doesn't get the role. People start attacking other folks who are actually eyeing the role, not even because they're a bad pick, just because they're not the favorite actor they envisioned. And early yesterday morning, this was happening too. There was another actress named Susie Bamba who some people were claiming was about to get the role, and people were just going in on this woman, saying she doesn't look right, calling her unattractive, and just being shitheels. So now you got people coming for Maya Boyd, not because of her overall looks, but because her skin tone apparently isn't dark enough. Well, let me put all that to bed right now just by putting these two pictures on screen. Tell me this don't look like Angela Bassett's daughter, or Angela Bassett back in the day. And we all know how much Angela Bassett is coveted and loved by the Storm fandom. Many people still haven't forgiven Fox for not casting her as Storm. But look at Angela Bassett. Look at the complexion. How is Angela Bassett y'all's #1 all-time pick for Storm? But then you claim Maya Boyd is too light. This is why I don't put any stock in this shit. This is the most unserious argument of all time. Not to mention racist and colorist as hell. Just because she's not as dark as everyone's fan cast choices doesn't mean she's wrong for the role. But this just reveals the toxicity that exists in the mind of some Stormcasters. Because some of y'all are genuinely obsessed with race and skin color, to the point where you can't enjoy anything unless it fits your narrow definition of how somebody would look. Part of this comes to the territory with casting. Hell, we just saw Kaylee Spaney accused of being too mid to play Rogue when people thought she was gonna get the role. But for Storm, I think she gets an extra helping of it because she's a dark-skinned black woman. Racism and colorism continue to plague the entertainment industry, so I don't want to trivialize the issue, but tearing an actress apart because she's not your specific favorite shade of dark brown is just head ass. You're actually only contributing to the problem, you're not helping to solve it. We're the first ones to jump on somebody else for being racist or colorist, but when we do it, I guess it's fine. Well, it's not fine for me, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not happening.
Absolutely not. You can suck my ass.
Could they have gone with a darker woman? Yeah. Are there darker skinned actresses who I would have loved to see in the role? Sure. But I'm not about to throw Maya Boyd away just because she's not the specific shade of blackness that somebody determined Storm has to be forever. Hell, DeWanda Wise ain't much darker than she is. She was my #1 pick for a while, and she's still a lot of people's main pick. And depending on the lighting of whatever event she's in or whatever movie she's in, she's actually lighter than Maya Boyd. But either way, I can't wait to see her on screen. X-Men is supposed to come out before Black Panther 3, so I wonder how she'll be introduced into the MCU. At first, I was thinking she'd show up in Black Panther 3 first, encountering T'Challa Jr. as he becomes the next Black Panther. And this would be how the MCU sets up Storm and Black Panther's romance. But right now, my main concern is maintaining Ororo's strong moral compass. Because if you saw what type of time Jean was on in Brand New Day, you'd be worried too. Yeah, I know I said they're gonna have different writers, so it probably won't be a big deal. And it probably won't be a big deal. But I really don't want them to make Ororo a quote-unquote morally gray anti-hero or some shit. Although her background does open the door for some moral ambiguity. Since she spends so much time as a street thief in Cairo, she already has experience with going against the law and operating in the shadows. But there's only so far that can go before you hit full-blown villain territory. I might need to do a follow-up video where I go full spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day, cause this is really only gonna make sense if I go in depth with Jean Grey's actions in that movie. But that's where my fear is coming from right now. I'm not expecting them to be 100% faithful to the comics because they don't do that with any character, but I want Storm's actions to be recognizably her own. And I can just see so many ways this can go wrong. Like for example, let's say she's with the Azori people, and she mostly uses her powers to water crops and famines, etc. But she also dishes out some divine justice when she feels like it. Oh, you're a thief? You're a murderer? Zap, lightning bolt up the ass. Like, I don't want them making Ororo an unnecessarily dark character. Her story already has enough darkness as it is. But all the speculation is useless until we actually get a script, so I'll at least wait to see what they're planning to do with her character before passing judgment. And while I'm still not excited about what the MCU may do with Storm's character, I am excited to see Maya Boyd as Storm. We gonna have Sadie Sink, Indy Navarrete, and Maya Boyd in the same room vibing off of each other. This is gonna be gold. These three are gonna define the mutant era. Throw in Samara Weaving too. Gotta have that delicious, chaotic Emma Frost energy.
Not gonna lie, if X-Force is going to crash my party, that dashing Warren Worthington is more my type. Though I wouldn't mind making you bark. Woof.
Ew.
Tell me what you think of Maya Boyd playing Storm. Tell me what you think of all the castings for X-Men. Who do you think they're gonna cast for the unannounced roles? And then after you do that, click this video right here to get more Weather Witch goddessness in your life. And until next time, keep simping.